Hello, Chase Wilson here, Senior Consultant at Sterling. So I was doing this whole series on cash flow, and time management was one of the points. And on there, some questions came up of, hey, how do you do this or how do you do that? So I want to actually cover in more detail the different points I was talking about when I brought up the area of time management. So today we're talking about interruptions. Where do they come from? What can you do about them? Now, one of the things you have to know about interruptions is there's two reasons. One, well, they're both your fault. Both of them will blame you for, but one of them is that you probably don't have a scheduled time of when you can be interrupted. You should have a time that says, do not disturb, this is when I'm working. Now, if you're a front desk, that's not necessarily going to apply, that's not necessarily going to work, but you can at least let staff know, listen, this is my time, I got to make these phone calls or I got to get this mail out. You got to let people know. So if other people around you aren't coordinated to the activities that you're doing, you're going to get a ton of interruptions, and that's going to hurt. Point number two is you have people around you who are not doing their job, and they depend upon you to do their job. Chances are, because you've done that for so long, you've actually bypassed them for so long that they expect you to do their job. Now, on point number one, that's coordination. You need to coordinate with your team and tell them what you're doing. Even if you send a group email, here's what I'm doing. Please don't interrupt unless it's this. Especially if you're the owner, you should have that time granted. Point number two, if you have someone who you're doing their job, here's what I recommend. If someone's constantly coming to you, here's what I tell, whether it's my assistant or someone who wants something from me. I say, I need you to send me an email. Now, I want an email because I don't look at my email every time it pops up. I check my email during my scheduled time to check my email. So I then look at the email when I have time and I have attention to focus on that email. And that email needs three things. One, what do you need? Tell me what you need. What is it that you are having a problem with that you think I can solve? Number two, what have you done to solve that problem? And more times than not, I don't get that email because in number two, they either didn't solve the problem or they do the actions to solve the problem. It actually builds initiative. So I need to know, number two is one of the most important missing factors in interruptions. You're getting interrupted because you're not holding them accountable. And point three, I need to know how time sensitive it is. Everyone thinks, well, I need to know right now. I need to get back with the client now. Well, do you need it right now or can you get it tomorrow? Is it a next week thing? When's the meeting? I need to know that. So what is the information that you need? I need the complete information. Where have you looked and what have you done to solve it? And when is it needed by? And if I get that email, I have no problem. And then I can schedule a time to meet with the person as needed, or I can answer it, email them back. But those two things right there are very important when it comes to time management. Having your scheduled time that you should not be interrupted or people allow you to do your job. And two is when someone comes to you, not allowing them to constantly interrupt you and create work for you. Now you're doing their job. All right. I want to know in the comments, I like feedback from you because I like to know kind of what's going on, what your reality is, what you're getting from this. I'd like to know from you what comes up in your office that causes interruptions. Maybe I didn't cover it. I definitely can. One of the things we do specialize in the office is actually training the whole team. Here at Sterling, we train the whole team to move in one direction. And when they move in that same coordinated direction, which is the definition of a team, a group of people moving on the same purpose, when everyone moves that way, interruptions occur less because they see the value of what each person does. All right, so let me know in the comments. Thanks very much. I'll see you in the next video.